We are live. Yay! Skills Not Pills people. This is Carrie Hummingbird. I'm so excited that you're here with us today. Again on Skills Not Pills Live. We are with Judy Lynn Koons, and she is the True Health Detective. And we are talking about how to reclaim your health from chronic pain naturally, because if you're suffering from exhaustion, fatigue, or chronic frustration, if you have digestive distress, if you have aches and pains or part of your everyday life, you're not alone. Many people struggle with this a lot of their adult life. And you may have found recommendations to find relief to no avail. Perhaps you checked with your doctor, you read books and articles, but nothing really worked. Well, we're going to actually hear a little bit, not giving away too much because we want you to subscribe at skillsnotpills.com, skillsnotpillsmovement.com, skillsnotpillsmovement.com, to actually tune into the full lecture with Judy. But we're going to hear some really awesome stuff today. So you guys ready? I'm ready.
Hi.
Yay! Welcome, Judy. So tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you become such a health detective? How did that happen?
Well, first, thanks, Carrie, for having me today.
You're
I
so welcome.
really appreciate what you're doing with Skills Not Pills. What a movement. I think this is the future of health. This is the future that we're moving into already, and so it really excites me. Um, Detective, man, I was already doing chronic pain by the time I was 15.
15.
I was collecting one symptom after the other and no answers.
No answers, of
No answers.
course, no answers.
So the ability to, use my passion to be able to find answers, to be able to keep me out of bed, you know, it gets so bad for some people that they're in bed for 20 years. Like, how do you do life that way? I didn't want to. So I kept looking for answers. I researched everything. My leisure reading was medical research papers.
Oh my, at 15.
At 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, as the internet got going, I was able to really start finding information that wasn't shared in journals. So I started reading every alternative book I could get my hands on. I was doing schooling and courses, and I would go do seminars on any modality that I could find to do with health, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. And so I just started bringing all the pieces together. And then I realized that was my job, was to distill all this information, because some of it was like completely misleading. So I became an experimenter. I experimented with myself, and to be able to keep myself moving and functioning was the goal. But something beyond that said, you don't have to manage symptoms. You can actually eliminate them. So I just kept going. I looked for the puzzle pieces I didn't even know I was missing yet. I don't know why, but that's where I went with it. And so eventually I was able to distill the information, because you know how much information is out there. It's like
There's
so overwhelming, right?
and you don't know what to believe, and I think that this is really an issue, because there's doctors out there, holistic doctors, who've been sharing information for a very long time, but then they're also discredited a lot of times by organizations and companies that would like to profit, and the information that these people are sharing isn't going to help them do that. So there's a lot of misinformation out there, and then how do you get to the bottom? How do you find what's true? And then on top of all that, everybody's body is different.
Well, and that's the thing. There are some very foundational pieces that I share that benefit everyone. You might have to move into it a little more slowly, or you might have to do it a little different for you. But for the most part, those foundational pieces are really important for everyone. And then there's pieces that are very specific, because we're all bio individuals and our combination is going to be different. But essentially, our ability to work with the foundational pieces while we sort out what specifics are important for us. But it's about coming back to the basics, because those are the most profound pieces. It's not about fancy. It's not about fast. It's not about how we've been trained to understand that it happens in 3 days. So
Nothing happens in 3 days, really. I mean,
that's the thing. You can suppress something in 3 days, though.
well, okay, I'm going to take that back. I have gone on retreats for 3 days where, Oh my goodness, my whole brain just got rewired in 3 days. And it was amazing. And I was like, what do I do with this? And then you go back into your life. You still got to integrate everything you learned. So even though it felt like a pill in a way, because you went away for the weekend and things changed, it's really not, because whatever happens, that you got the big aha, you got the moment, you got the big moment of relief. Now you still have to take that back and integrate it. And that's the chop wood, carry water. And no one wants to do the chop wood, carry water. That's the big issue here.
Well, and that is a big piece of what we're trying to turn around, because essentially you can manage symptoms your whole life. You know, you're going to be able to find lots of people that say, no, that's not going to change. You're going to have to do this for the rest of your life. Or,
Yeah.
I pulled this on purpose. So what is this? What is this, Carrie?
Well, for a second, it looked like a rabbit, but then you put your fingers over there and it looked like a duck.
What is this, right? So it's the exact same picture, but if we can adjust our perception to understand that we don't have to manage symptoms. It can be whatever you want it to be. Okay, if it's a duck, you're going to need to treat it differently than if it's a rabbit. You
Yeah.
wouldn't want to put your rabbit in the pond.
No, it won't like it.
Right?
I can tell you, I used to have a rabbit.
Really, really fast.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to be willing to adjust your perception, or we have to be willing to adjust our perception to understand that it's the same picture, but we can perceive it differently. If we perceive it differently, I have this symptom, right? I go to my practitioner and he says, no, you're going to have to take this for the rest of your life. Well, I'm going to do it very, very differently than if I go to a practitioner that says, well, no, this is actually what's happening over here, or this is the combination that you're dealing with. And if you are able to just do some of these pieces, you're going to be able to eliminate that symptom instead of deal with it for the rest of your life. So it's not like you're piling on all of this work you have to do in order to manage the symptoms. It's like you can actually turn it around. You can adjust how you see it, which adjusts how you deal with it. So we're looking to adjust the perception so that people know that they can get their health back, that they can reclaim their health, maybe health that they've never had in their entire life. When I was 15, I didn't know what it was to be healthy. I hadn't experienced that yet.
And I think that's a good point to make, is that if you haven't experienced health, you don't know what's possible, right? And so you get in this sort of baseline of not feeling good and you think that's normal. And that's not normal. It's just that it's your normal. But
normal.
Your current normal is that, but that doesn't mean it has to be your normal forever. And so really kind of opening that box up to say, whatever you think is absolutely true in this moment, let's just like peel that back and assume it's not. We'll just make the assumption it's not true. That only by questioning it as truth can we make progress, right? And here's a really interesting statistic I heard about a month ago at the Paleo FX conference. I heard Chris Kressler stand up and talk, and he has this book called Unconventional Medicine. And he talks about how the current paradigm doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work for the doctors. They don't feel good at the end of the day. They feel horrible at the end of the day. They feel like they did not fulfill their oath. They just scrambled from one patient to the next in 15-minute chunks all day, giving a solution in 15 minutes, which is an impossible task. And he's making this new model where people like you, Judy, would be like on the outside. You'd be one of the circles surrounding the patient, right? And doctor's one of them. And here's Judy, and here's Carrie doing some energy medicine. And here's like here's a yoga teacher, but there could just be like other people around the patient. It's not just one point of contact. It's like all these different pieces, because we all have a different view. We all have a different piece of the puzzle that we're expert in. I'm an expert in the spiritual part. You're expert in this navigation, this detective part, so really thinking it like that, like a circle around you, the concentric circles all around you helping you. And he had this really interesting statistic. He said only 6% of Americans engage in the top 5 healthy behaviors that we know create health. Only 6%. So guess what? Unless you're one of that really top-notch determined 6% people in our country, you're not engaging the way you think you're engaging in the top 5 healthy behaviors yet. But you can.
Yet. That's
Yet.
really important. Do you, it's about information being shared.
Yes.
You know, in this real genuine way that you're doing it, Carrie, where people actually see options and they can adjust their perceptions so that they can move more fully into those top 5. Because otherwise, they don't even realize it's possible. You know, I need specialists for my computer work, for the IT work. So I need that. I don't really want to go into that as my specialty. I want to stay where I live, which is in this world, which is about reclaiming health from any kind of chronic illness. I want to stay in that realm. So I'm willing to do that. And that's where those circles come in. Because I need an IT person. I might need somebody to do marketing. I might need somebody to, you know, look after the building that stands around me. It just, you need a circle in order to be able to look after all the aspects of your life. So looking for a practitioner that allows you to work with enough other people that you're working with, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual, and your physical body, that makes the whole doable.
Yeah, and I was really excited when he was up on stage. I got a chance to ask a question, and I was like, my question is from Carrie Hummingbird, founder of Skills Not Pills.
Of course.
I was like, by the way, everybody, you know, because I couldn't help myself. And I was like, okay, my question is, do you see the spiritual mentor as part of that concentric circle around the, and he said, absolutely.
Oh, that's so great.
I was so happy he said that, because what if he said no? I'd have been like, but you know, but he wasn't going to say, but he actually said, yes, it's really important because people don't necessarily have that as one of their circles around them. And so, yeah, it could be anything. There's so many things that we need help with. And especially with our health and our well-being, you know, and this is a fluid thing, right? I also want to bring that up because I know that, you know, chasing down symptoms, there's no like set it and forget it.
No, it's a dance.
It's
Life
a dance.
And if you're willing to participate, you're not going to get your feet stepped on and you're going to have some fun, right?
Yeah.
It's a dance. Like even when I'm taking people through the healing process, something that worked for them today may not work for them a week from now. And so they're having to learn how to adjust it so that they can work with it themselves. My job is to work myself out of a job. Right?
Yeah, me too. I'm not into dependencies.
Yeah.
I don't like the dependency model. It's not a healthy model and it's not an honest model. And it gets all sticky with the ego, because then, you know, if I'm depending on you for my money, it's like icky. You know, I don't want that. I'd rather have a big inflow of people that come through and then leave, you know, and go do it. I mean, just do it for yourself, you know,
Exactly.
once
And
you learn how.
it's about helping, it's about us all building confidence, you know, in our ability in all of those aspects of ourselves. And we can do it for ourselves, but it's really important that we have somebody to help us point in the right direction, maybe for a while, so that we are on the right track and we're not overwhelmed by the crazy amount of information that's being not just out there, but actually being pushed at us.
Well, and everybody's body's different. I think there's a book about body types, and you know, everybody's body and ancestry is really different, and so there's not one size fits all solution. I know there's some things you were talking about. You know, definitely exercise is going to help every single human being. Like it's going to help, but breathing better is going to help everybody. There's some things like if we could just learn these things, they're going to help everybody. But then the fine tuning piece, you're unique. It's your body, your experience. You just need a tool bag. Like, and that's what something that Judy does for you, right? Is give you that, okay, here's some tools. If you're not feeling good, pull one out and see if this helps.
Yeah, my medicine cabinet looks very, very different than anybody else's, I can tell you.
I guarantee it.
That's the thing. I'm gonna support you in filling the medicine cabinet that's gonna work for you. That's not about dependency. There's nothing in there that's about suppression or dependency. It's about you giving your body what it needs so that it can do what it's fully capable of doing. And that's essentially what I do, is help you get the things out of the way that are in the way of health. I always call them the culprits. So I'm going to help you discover the culprits that are in the way of your health, that are standing in the way. Get them out. I'm going to help you bring in the pieces that um, bioenergetically are going to help you raise your vibration and are going to help your body do what it's capable of doing. And then I'm going to help you hack it to the best of my ability, because, yeah, I get it. I'm going to tell you it's simple. It's not always easy. But I'm talking about turning around 20 or 30 years of accumulation of illness. I'm talking about doing the work that's a little bit hard in the beginning so that everything about life can be easier. Everything. That you get to do the things. It's a perfect example. By the time I was 16, I was done doing amusement rides. Trust me, it was not pretty if I did them. It was not a good thing. For a day or two afterwards, I was suffering. And probably people around me were suffering while, the
While
whole
you were suffering.
uh, absolutely. Um, it was a few years ago that I was able to actually go on amusement rides. And I'm not just talking the little ones with my little people, I'm talking about the full on roller coaster rides. And I loved it. But I hadn't been able to do that until I completely got rid of those chronic symptoms that had kind of plagued me throughout my life. So I started with symptoms, no amusement rides. Like, how
That's not fun for a kid. Kids love amusement. Well, most kids
for
do.
an
I love it.
adult or anyone, right? Even for a parent to be able to not participate. Sorry, I can't take you on that ride because I'll be sick for 3 days afterwards, right? I can do all the amusement rides now. I don't have any problem whatsoever. But I started with all those symptoms. Most of my clients start with all those symptoms. And then I get to this place where I'm at in my life and I have zero symptoms. Like zero. By now, I should be experiencing some symptoms from aging, right? But not even that is true. So there's no more symptoms.
Yeah,
And
and so watch the stories we tell ourselves, right? Like, because even those, well, see, my journey was more mental, Judy. Like, it was more like realizing that I was this spider spinning the web, which was my story, around myself, which was the fly, and trapping myself with my story. I get the visual on that, like
yeah,
just tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter down a little hole into like a bad story. And I actually just relaunched the Awakening to Me audiobook. I know, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I did it. I hope it helps you people. Like, just really made me nervous. But it was a real story I told about myself. And now I'm telling different stories, right? I'm still telling stories. We're telling stories all the time. The thing is to be mindful about it. And so when you're telling a story about your health, what I see people doing a lot is wrapping themselves up like that fly in the story. All right, oh, I will always be this way, or oh, I have this diagnosis and it's with me forever. It's my identity. I wear it around like a cloak. Or I'm never gonna be able to ride amusement park rides. I'm never gonna be able to go with, to this fun trip. I'm never gonna be able to eat da 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 da, whatever that is. And that's a story. That's a story. And the more you tell it with big emotion, the realer it becomes. And just as easily, you could open up that story with some curiosity, like, I wonder if that's even true.
well, that's the other aspect of the work I do, right?
Yeah.
It's about, okay, so just using a little example, um, I'm going to use my husband, H. pylori, the bacteria that causes ulcers. I'm getting a little technical now, but hang with me. Um, most people that have that bacteria have a lot of difficulty eating apples, especially raw apples, because it causes all this discomfort and bloating, and oh, it's just not nice. Well, it took him a while to be willing, but I said just a little tiny slice. just a little tiny slice of apple. And he's like, okay, I think I could try that. So he did. But he'd already, decided he was never going to be able to eat apples again. He started eating a little tiny slice. And of course, I have him doing other things too. But pretty soon he was like, oh, oh, I can handle eating apples again. Well, apples only cause issues if you have that bacteria because it kills off the bacteria, and the bacteria is what causes the issue, not the apple. So we're talking about, again, that perceptual shift. Is it the apple that's causing the issue, or is it the bacteria that the apple's killing off? And so I totally flip the whole paradigm and help people understand that they can have those things back. He loves apples. He's always loved apples. He just didn't eat them because it was so uncomfortable. But he understands now that if he eats a little bit of apple, he can eat apples like nothing now.
Right.
But when he started, if he just started with a little, he was going to get rid of the thing that was actually causing the discomfort.
You know, I love that story. And I'm going to add another story on that. When I was pregnant, my first baby, I loved bananas, like banana, 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 because I'm a monkey. Banana, 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 banana. And I ate so many bananas. And one day, I think it was like about month 6, I'm at the gym, like kind of getting my exercise, and I just finished my banana, and I was like, oh, I can't have any more bananas. Like, it just made me ill. I had to barf it up. And I was like, I can't eat bananas. Oh my God, no more bananas. So it took me like a couple years before, because that stuck with me, that banana thing. I was like, ooh, I don't want any bananas. But then with my next baby, I was like, well, I probably should have bananas because it's health. I'll try it. Well, now I liked bananas. And my baby, like, I could feel my baby in there liking the banana. So I was like, okay, here's the lesson. Everything is temporary. We try to make it fixed and permanent. It's a temporary condition. The baby that was inside of me, my first baby, decided no more bananas, Mom. You know?
That's enough.
He was done with the bananas because I was having them like every day and multiple times a day. He's like, I'm done with bananas. So I had to stop. But that was a temporary condition because he came out of me, right? I mean, 10 months later, out he came. And now I was fine to have bananas again. So I think we just need to realize that everything that we're trying to put these like long-term conditions on, or we're trying to say it's always going to be this way, that's just not true. That's a story.
It really is a story. And if you can get rid of the majority of the story, you're left with the basics. And that's how you actually are able to discern from all the information that you're exposed to all the time. You bring the story down. Like, you just talked about being at the paleo conference, right? And right now, if you go online or if you're looking around, you're going to find so much information about keto and paleo. And it's not that it's a fad, because if you go keto and paleo, there's some benefits. You stop eating so much processed food, you eat more vegetables, you do those things that are going to be helpful for your body. But there's also some other pieces that myself personally, I would like to see you do. Because I don't want you to just feel better in the moment having to be super, super strict with what you eat. I want you to be really strict in the beginning to the degree that it's not too stressful. I want to see you be really strict with what you do in the beginning so that you open it back up. Because if you'll find, if you're doing something like keto or paleo, if you stop, you're in trouble. You're in so much trouble because there's still some pieces that are missing. So you go underneath that and you find the pieces that you didn't even realize were missing. That's where the health detective tenaciousness comes in. And you pick up those pieces, then you can actually eventually not need to be quite as strict or strict at all. Your body may choose that because it feels so good to have this really high dense nutrition in your body, but you don't have to. So just an example.
Yeah, a lot of the speakers at Paleo would say similar things too. They in every talk I heard them say things like, everybody is unique. Every single person's body is unique, and you're the one who has to figure out what works for you. It's up to you. Like they all, I mean, throughout the conference, you heard them saying that because it's true. We all realize now how unique every single body is because it's not just the body. It's like me with my banana story.
Yep.
Like I had made an association of banana with the experience of barfing it, to be gross. But I had that association and I was like, ooh, I don't want that. Right.
You ask anybody that's been sick
I mean, you
that
just
they
go,
associate food, they don't eat that food anymore
yeah,
usually.
because you have a bad association with it. But that's a mental association that has nothing to do with the potency or the purpose of bananas in my life. It's just my mind made up a
And
story.
you started adding bananas back.
Yeah, because I realized it was a story.
Yeah. So, so good for you when you're pregnant, especially the calories, all of it. You need so much more. But you test it out, you know.
I pushed the limits of banana in my pregnancy.
And to some degree, well, that's good, right? To some degree, that's what you have to do in order to get back to where we started from.
Yeah.
Where we're really supported in our health and we're really supported in, taking our lives back.
I want to also just take this moment because we're about to wrap up, but I wanted to take this moment and call out the fact that you've had, because of your journey, you've had a ton of training in all different kinds of modalities. And would you just list some of that for us right now, just so we have an idea of like what you, because you've got like a ton of things you've studied.
Um, Rolfing, Reiki master, reflexology. I am a facilitator for the work, Byron Katie. I have done NLP. I have done EFT. I have herbology, homeopathy, nutritional studies, out the yin yang. Like I have gone through all of it. Spiritual studies, I've studied every religion that exists. My job has been to, I guess, gather all of these things up and then find the golden threads. That's all I'm looking for anymore. Is just the golden threads that work through everything, because those are generally the things that work for everybody. What else have I done? I can't even think right now. I have done massage. I have done shiatsu, pressure point. It just goes on.
I know. I mean, she can't even remember all the things she studied, guys.
So funny. And it's
Okay, but was it torturous or did you enjoy every bit of it? Like, this is so interesting. Because a lot of people think, gosh, that's so much work. I don't want to have to learn all that just to feel good. Because I think the laziness factor.
well,
Okay.
it's not, it was my interest. So it was my passion. Obviously, something moved through me that caused me to go this direction. And so many of those pieces that I studied, I draw from now. But none of them was enough in itself. And you're talking about those circles again, right?
Yeah, holistic.
The very holistic pieces that if you bring them together, then you don't have to depend on them or rely on them. But bringing all those pieces together allow you to recognize yourself as more holistic, and then you get better results.
Yes.
I really want to share, if people go to the truehealthdetective.com site, that, I have a consult there. If you really are serious about taking your health back, we're going to explore. I have a report there that's going to allow you to get started with this. I hope to be able to present more all the time. I'm working with people all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't give me a lot of time to put things out, but I'm working on getting more out there so that you can see for yourself how you can do this.
Awesome.
It's such a powerful journey. We don't do it for the results as much as we do it for the freedom.
The freedom.
We are so free when we're healthy, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritual, to do everything that we would want and more.
And more.
And more. You get that energy back. You think you're functioning at high energy, and then you get another 25%. There's a lot you can do in a day.
There is a lot. And it goes quicker. Well, so you guys, you can see, we didn't even touch on her content because I told her we're not going to do that because we want you guys to sign up for the summit. So we want you to sign up. So skillsnotpillsmovement.com, and you'll be amazed at what she shares on the movement. She doesn't have a lot of time to share stuff in this kind of way, so it was really a blessing that Judy, that you came on and let me interview you. So you guys sign up. It's free. Her interview is going to be coming out really soon. skillsnotpillsmovement.com, and take her up on that offer that she just gave you. And if you missed that and you didn't write it down, you can watch this back, or you can log into the summit and it'll be in your email when you sign up. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Carrie, very
Take
much.
care.
Okay.
Okay, bye everybody.
Your true health.
Yes.